Being a low-ticket wonder without a clear strategy is one of the biggest mistakes you can make if you are an entrepreneur, small business trying to navigate this very challenging time. You're listening to the Leverage Your Incredible Factor podcast with Darnyelle, Jervey, Harmon. If this is your first time joining me for the podcast, here's what I'd like for you to know about me. First and foremost, I am the absolute best at combining spiritual principles with business growth strategy to turn entrepreneurs into multiple 6- and 7-figure CEOs. Second, I don't do hustle and grind. I do spirituality and systems. And you might be wondering, what in the devil is an incredible factor? And if so, I invite you to go all the way back to the very first episode of this podcast. It's aptly titled, Exactly What is the Incredible Factor? There's even a cool worksheet that I want you to do that will help you to find yours. Oh, I will likely say some things that will make you laugh, a few things that could make you cry, and definitely make you question if you are ready to leverage your incredible factor. Remember, I'm a coach, and my job is to tell you what you don't want to hear and show you what you don't want to see, all to help you to become who God created you to be. I'm so excited that you're here. This episode is powered by the Profitable Pivot Masterclasses. If you know that you need some support pivoting profitably in your business, please know that I want to help. I've opened up some live trainings where I will be teaching core business growth tenets around messaging, marketing, and sales so that you don't falter during these challenging times. To learn more and enroll in one or all of our classes, visit darnyelle.com/pivot. In this episode, I've got a mouthful to say. We are going to talk about sales, specifically during this time that we're in, and how you should be pricing those sales. Now, if you don't get this right, or you think that being a low ticket wonder is the move, I am here to let you know that you are going to regret it. Now, I have personally closed more than $30,000 in the last 2.5 weeks, and my mastermind clients did a combined $500,000 in the first quarter, which included March Madness or pandemic panic. Why am I sharing this with you? Because right now, everyone is trying to figure out the best way to stay relevant and to make money during this time. And many people have gotten caught up in what the media is saying. And as a result, their mindset has shifted into one where they cannot win. And quite honestly, I need to say it. Not everyone is struggling right now, but because the media is over communicating about COVID-19, it's producing real fear for entrepreneurs and small business owners. And that fear is likely making you question if you are relevant, i.e. you can charge appropriately for your services during this time. And because of that, you're out of whack. You're questioning everything and you are making decisions that are founded in lack. And that needs to stop, and that needs to stop pronto. I was having a conversation with a client earlier this week and one of our calls, because I've been, holding sessions with all of my clients just to make sure that they're good and they know what their strategy is and what they should be focused on and how they can still close new clients and generate business during this season. And so I want to share with you what I shared with them. So if you are a service-based entrepreneur, whether that means you are a coach or a consultant, an accountant, an attorney, an interior designer, or any other service-based small business owner, and you have been questioning whether or not you should be lowering your prices because of the pandemic, this episode is dedicated to you. I want you to hear me clearly. It is not now, will it ever be my recommendation that you reduce your pricing for your signature core offerings. Absolutely not. And I want you to hear this too. If you do lower the prices on your core signature offerings, it will be like pimping yourself out because of the pandemic. Now, I'm sorry. You might think I was really wrong for just saying that right now. But I need you to understand that this is serious. And if you are not careful, you will end up plaguing your business well beyond the pandemic. Now, Corona did not create the disarray that your clients are experiencing or even the panic that you're feeling right now. It has merely heightened what has already been wrong in your business. And if you know that you need help tightening your business so that you can pivot, you need to invest, and you need to invest now. Now, similarly, if you know that you can help someone who needs help making a pivot, then you have to offer to help them now. Listen to me. Selling is service. This is about serving people who have the problem and that problem, who have a problem, and that problem has been magnified because of what's going on globally. And I personally think that not serving them right now at the right investment level is being selfish. Yep, I said it. Now that I've gotten that out of the way, I feel better. I hope that you're not too upset with me, because what I want to do now is I want to add value. I want to tell you what needs to shift right now so that you can make an impact and not happen into being a low ticket wonder. Because trust me, low ticket wonderness is not the move for your business, not now and not ever. Well, you know what? Let me say this. There is a time and a place for lower prices, and I'll talk to you all about that. But 9 times out of 10, the reason why you're trying to go low now, that is not the reason, and this is not the time. So how do we get started, Darnyelle? So we start by making sure that you solve what I call a spice problem, right? The universal law of business, you've heard me talk about this before, says each of us, each business owner's goal needs to be to find the group of people that have the problem that you solve that are ready right now to pay for a solution to that very problem, right? Now, I take it one step further, and I say that we need to quantify this problem, and we need to consider it, make sure that the problem has SPICE. SPICE is an acronym, and that acronym stands for specific and substantive, meaning that the problem that you solve is not surface level. The P stands for persistent and pervasive, meaning the problem that you solve, it runs so deep that it'll create a rash if they don't resolve it. The problem that you solve, the I stands for immediate and insurmountable, meaning that without help right now, they will not be able to get beyond this problem. The C in the SPICE acronym stands for clear and conscious, and that speaks to your potential client. They need to be both clear and conscious that this problem exists for them. And the E stands for expensive and expansive, because the bigger the problem they get, or the longer the problem goes unsolved, the more it costs them and the bigger it gets. Now, if you solve a SPICE problem, then you are primed and positioned to be able to step up in this current marketplace and solve problems at the level that you are known for solving those problems. And that means that the investment associated with doing so is the same. Now, you will not have to lower your prices if you solve a SPICE problem. Now, yes, I get it. I get understanding and desiring to be sensitive to the current environment, but you have to keep in mind that not everyone is struggling. I submitted a proposal last week for a business for $60,000. And I'm like 98.9% certain that I will be getting a payment back within the next week or so, because the problem they have and the way that I can resolve that problem for them denotes that they invest in themselves at that level. See, a big part of the reason why you might be thinking it's time to become a low ticket wonder is because you've got a mindset issue. You think that charging low is going to allow you to serve more people. And while there is some basic truth to that, it is only true if you are actually able to get to said people with your low prices. Let's take Planet Fitness as an example. I'm going to talk to you about the different pricing strategies now. So there's basically 3 there, and we'll start with low. Low ticket pricing makes you available to the masses. It's what I consider to be a volume play. You do, or you integrate a low ticket pricing strategy in your business when you have exposure or you have marketing dollars to create that exposure. So Planet Fitness is my favorite example, right? Planet Fitness charges $10 a month. $10 a month. Do you know what their marketing budgets are? I'll tell you. Well, you know what? I'll tell you what they were about 18 months ago. The last time I looked to see what their entire marketing budget is. They had $3 million in their marketing budget 10% of their annual sales, which at the time was $3 billion. When you have a marketing budget that is that vast, yes, you can be a low ticket wonder. But for most of us, we don't have market budgets that are that big. And having lower price points is really a challenge unless you've got the volume play. Now, if Oprah is calling and you're going to be on Super Soul Sunday, best believe you need to have a low ticket wonder waiting for the people who will be watching you mesmerized, inspired, and want to take an additional action with you. But if Oprah isn't calling, leading with a low ticket price point isn't the best move for you, and especially not right now. Unless you start with a lower price, but you move them quickly into the price point at which you should be working. And whatever you're offering at the lower price does not require you to show up. See, most people aren't doing that though. They're lowering their prices massively and they're actively serving at that price point. That is not the move. That will not make you rich. That will make you burnt out and broke. The second pricing strategy is a higher ticket pricing strategy. Higher ticket pricing strategies are about exclusivity. You know, everybody can't afford them, but you don't need everybody to afford them. If you have a goal to generate $300,000 in your business and you have a $10,000 offer, you only need 30 clients, right? So you don't need the whole world to take advantage of what it is that you bring to the table in order for you to hit your revenue goal. Versus in that same scenario, if you wanted to make $300,000 and you had a $100 offer, you need 3,000 clients, right? And because every single person, their conversion is 1 to 3%, it doesn't matter. It's a numbers game. And if your numbers aren't big enough to denote the reason why you had a lower pricing strategy, you're up a creek without a paddle. But higher ticket pricing is exclusive. It's not for everybody. You pick your favorite high-end luxury car, Bentley. The only place I've seen Bentleys on the road as if they were Hyundais is in Dubai, right? Because that's an affluent nation. But typically a higher price point means that you cut out the majority of the market, but you are so targeted or niched, as they say, that you don't even care who's not participating in your offers because you've got enough people who are looking for that exclusive, everybody can't afford this type of service to be supported in that way. So that's a higher ticket price point. And then you've got parity pricing. Parity pricing it flip-flops. Means sometimes it's high, sometimes it's low. But it's almost never at the price point that it should be offered at to produce the most value for the business. It's always taken into account the varying circumstances that lead a person to make an investment. My favorite parity pricing example is Macy's or Dillard's, depending upon where you are in the US. If you're international, I'm not sure if you have either of those stores. Macy's I don't know that anybody goes to Macy's and buys anything at the regular price because 3 or 4 times a week they're having a sale, whether it's a Tuesday, a one-day sale, a Super Saturday. Like there's like multiple days throughout the week where you can go there and you can get whatever it is you wanted to get, and you can get it on a coupon or on a savings. The disparity with parity pricing is that your value is always in question. And you're not really able to determine whether or not people are investing because they believe in what you can do for them, or if they're investing just because they're price shopping. And that's really challenging. Now, I hope by now you can already see, as an entrepreneur, small business owner, there's really only one pricing strategy that works for you, even in this pandemic, right? And that is higher ticket pricing. With the exception of if you really feel like you want to be sensitive to the market right now, there are 2 choices for you. Choice number 1 is you can dust off a previously offered product or service that is highly leveraged or even passive that you haven't been offering or that you stopped offering that would be relevant right now and reintroduce that to the market. Or you can create a lower price point offering that is a complete solution but does not mess with your brand's equity. Because if you take your core signature programs that are at a higher ticket price point and reduce them because of what's going on, you're going to mess with your brand's equity and upset your clients who paid at the higher rate. Think about it this way. If you had a $10,000 program and people invested in that program, and then they happen to catch you on a Facebook or Instagram live talking about how your signature program is now $3,000, every single person who invested at $10,000 is going to request some of their money back. And you just taint your brand's equity because now they're going to talk bad at you in the marketplace. And as a small business owner, your brand is really all you have in your ability to be able to continue to shift. See why it's not a good idea to focus on being a low ticket wonder unless, again, you have volume. There are people who have 250,000 people on their marketing list. When you have 250,000 people on your marketing list and you put out an offer that is lower, you're going to get 1 to 3% to take advantage of that. 3% is 7,500 people. So if you did an offer and 7,500 people bought something that was $100, you just made $750,000. You see how being a low ticket wonder can work when you have a volume play, but most of y'all don't have a volume play. So you're going to have to realize that charging low isn't the answer, especially if you don't have a clear strategy to accompany it. What's going to happen instead is you're going to leave money on the table and you're going to lengthen the amount of time it takes for you to earn more in your business. And that is not what I want for you. I want for you to have a business that serves you financially and spiritually, even when the economy is sliding and the country is questioning the nation, the world. It's not even just the country or the nation. The world is questioning everything. I want you to realize that now is the perfect time for you to increase your marketing so that you don't have to be a low ticket wonder. I haven't closed a lot of sales in the last 2 weeks, but I closed a $24,000 sale that paid in full, by the way. And I closed a $10,000 sale. 2 sales in the last 2 weeks and $24,000 in my pocket right now, and then $2,500 deposit in my pocket right now. Now, to make that same $34,000 at something that cost $500, let's say, let's see how long it would take to do that. It would take 68 sales. And those 68 sales would mean that I would have to probably spend more money in advertising, and I would have to be doing more emailing to my list. I'm not saying it's impossible. I'm not saying it can't happen, but make sure that you have a clear strategy around a lower ticket price before you just throw up a lower ticket price. It's one of the biggest mistakes that I see amongst entrepreneurs and small business owners is not understanding the strategy behind how you price. Again, there's a time and a place to be a low ticket wonder, but 9 times out of 10, unless you have massive volume, now is not the time. And not everybody is struggling. Still, deals are still being closed. I literally got a text message screenshot from one of my clients yesterday where they just got a new contract for $32,900 in the face of the pandemic. So I'm sharing this to encourage you that becoming a low ticket wonder is not what you have to do to survive and remain relevant right now. All you need to do to remain relevant right now is be crystal clear on 3 things. 3 things, maybe 4 things. Number 1, maybe 5 things. Number 1, you need to have a mindset that is open to more. Number 2, you need to have messaging that will lead you to millions. Your message has to be clear, concise, and compelling right now so that you cut through the noise that's happening in the marketplace. Everybody and their grandfather is online right now. Everybody's trying to stand out. You're going to have to be clear and compelling. You're going to need to be using the marketing strategies that are working right now in this pandemic, right? And you're going to need to know how to sell and how to overcome objections to sell. You know what I just described to you? It was 4 things. I just described the topics that I'm teaching in my Profitable Pivot can't even get my words out. My Profitable Pivot Masterclasses. That's what I'm going to be teaching. I'm going to be teaching on the mindset of more. That is, you open yourself up to money abundance. I'm going to be teaching on messaging that will make you millions. I've got that broken down into 2 different parts. I'm going to be teaching you on the marketing that is working right now. And I'm going to be teaching you how to close the sale. If you know that you need help pivoting and pivoting profitably, I implore you to visit darnyelle.com/pivot, because here's what I know. Charging low isn't the answer. And if you don't have a clear strategy to accompany it, you are going to be a low ticket wonder that does not get to where it is you want to be during this time. And you're going to be struggling when this is over. And believe you me, it is going to get worse before it gets better. And that's not what I want for you. I'll see you next time. Take care. Thank you for joining me for the Leverage Your Incredible Factor Business podcast. I'd really love to help you grow a business that funds the life you crave while doing work that shakes the planet. Get started today by applying for a discovery session with me or a member of my team at darnyelle.com/session. And if you enjoyed our time together, do yourself a favor. Head on over to iTunes, subscribe, rate, and leave us a review. Until next time, remember, you do deserve a business that funds the life you crave. Take care.